Hi there, my name's Cindy Davis. I'm the content director for AV Technology, and I am thrilled to have Sean Bowman from Shure with me. And he's going to do a little preview of what you're going to see at Infocom, as well as talk about Shure in general and some new innovations and philosophies. So, welcome, Sean.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Cindy. It's a pleasure.
Great. And so, what do you do? How long have you been at Shure, and what do you do there?
Yeah. So I've been at Shure for 10 years now. Um, we had the pleasure of celebrating some of these milestones with the company, and it does make me reflect on how far we've come. Just in the time we've been there, and um, had the opportunity to celebrate our 100th anniversary last year at Infocom, so 101 this year. But yeah, I lead the go-to-market team at Shure, which includes the channel sales and B2B sales motions, our marketing teams, and our customer experience teams. So I'm fortunate to work with many of our partners and customers who will attend the show and get to experience our technologies firsthand.
Nice.
So it's a pleasure to get to talk to you and to, yeah, give a little bit of a peek behind the curtain in terms of what we're going to share
Thanks.
at the show here coming up in just a couple weeks.
Definitely appreciate that. And before the show, you've announced a couple of really cool new products. So I don't even know about them yet. So please share.
Yeah, you bet. So, there's a couple things that, we think about when we're approaching an event like this and helping to push the AV industry forward. And so one of the areas that we're focusing on this year, you'll see us, continue to really spearhead what's possible in the beamforming microphone array technology. I think about 10 years ago when I started the company, at that point, we were just launching the MXA 910, which was a first of its kind, really innovative ceiling array microphone. And this year at Infocom, we'll be launching the MXA 925, which is the latest iteration of that. It's also now available starting here in June, and that's built on that decade of performance. Everything that we learned along the way with the 910 and the 920 around performance and reliability, what it takes to scale solutions like this, for customers. Um, Balancing that high level of performance with ease of use. And we're, with the 925 really extending that leadership in this space with built-in, audio intelligence. Our IntelliMix DSP is on board with the 925, and that really helps you, hear clearly and naturally the voices of the people that you're picking up with that array, and it eliminates the background noises that you don't want to hear.
Mhm.
And so getting higher quality audio on the front end really makes meetings feel much more natural and collaborative with remote participants. It really helps to understand what others are saying without having to strain. And so we built the 925 with that in mind. But we also were thinking a lot about how people are using these spaces now with trends in AI. And because great audio also now means more accurate data ingest for platform partners like Microsoft and Zoom, they can do some incredible things if the audio is really good with some of their AI productivity tools like Copilot and AI Companion. So we really see the 925, helping all of us, increase productivity, work smarter and faster.
So interesting that you brought up AI because obviously, just a couple of years ago it's always been about intelligibility, right? I mean, especially we talked a lot about a couple of years ago meeting equity, in between people that were in the conference room as well as the far side. But there's a new participant in the meeting room now, and that's AI. Whether it's just translating meeting notes and transcribing, or agents. I mean, agents are going to be uh, participants in the meeting space. So how do you really see um, Shure's technology really aiding in that?
Yeah, when we kind of shifted to some of those AI productivity conversations, we want to make sure, of course, we balance the equity and the feeling that we have as humans in the meeting
Hmm.
and take a human approach to what it is that we do. but we also want to think about that data piece of that, and the sensors that we have in the room in terms of cameras and microphones and others that are collecting data. And data quality is important to the effectiveness of these tools. And you mentioned particularly some of the agents that are working very quickly, some in real time to do things like translation or captioning and things like that. And the better all of these are, you know, uh, in many cases built on audio, and the more accurate that audio, the more accurate and the more uh, useful those tools are going to be. Just in the example of transcripts, not having to go back and make edits for inaccurate transcripts or inaccurate attribution to who said what in a meeting. Oftentimes good enough solutions might work in a scenario like the one that we have here, where there's just a single participant in the room. But as you get more and more talkers in the room, identifying who said what, can really become important to the attribution and the action items and how you're, generating results from the discussion that you're having. And the audio quality is a huge piece of that. And we're proud to be partners with Microsoft and Zoom in that journey, because I think it's really at the end of the day unlocking new capabilities for customers.
Is there an expectation of how many people in a room should be able to uh, be heard and transcribed accurately?
Well, we are always trying to push the limits, and so I don't think there should be a limit really when you think about how important these tools might be, and that might mean you need additional coverage, or you might need some different um, audio capture in a space to do that. But yeah, wherever it's so important that every voice is heard and everybody's perspectives are contributing to that result. And I think that one of the benefits I think of a solution provider like Shure is how broad our portfolio is, and how we're able to whether it's different form factors. You think about like of course the ceiling arrays we just mentioned, but then so the handheld mics or body packs, or other systems that we have that allow you to hear every voice in the room. So yeah, whether you're in a small huddle room, or whether you're in a very large classroom with hundreds of people, um, every voice should really
Mm,
be heard and contribute to not just the AI piece, but to the
sure.
overall conversation.
I suppose
Yeah,
if there's too many people talking in a room, AI or not, you just can't understand them anyway.
it's very true.
Yeah. I've been in plenty of those meetings. It's like, I can't understand what you're saying. um, so the industry is moving towards scalable and standardizing AV systems for many reasons. Talk about how what Shore's doing in that regard.
Yeah, that actually leads. It makes me think of one of the other announcements that we have here leading up to InfoComm. So one of the ways we're thinking about scaling and standardization is with our system called the IntelliMix Room Kits, and we're announcing versions on Zoom here for the show. We know customers are multi-platform, and we want to provide a solution for whatever platform choices that they have. And so we hear about customers looking for high performance, but also that ease of deployment and ease of scale. And so these are complete room systems. We've designed them to suit four different room sizes: small, medium, large, extra large, very, very standard archetypes of rooms. Um, but these include all the best in class devices. So you've got your Shure Zoom Room compute built on Windows 11 and a touch panel, and that's running our IntelliMix DSP on board. So you've got the automatic great audio processing. And that DSP also recognizes all the devices that are connected to that compute. So it comes with the MXA 902, which is our combination ceiling array and speaker uh, microphone, and various camera solutions depending on the size of the room. It could be a Hudley IQ L1 or Cruise system for multi-camera. Um, and so recognizing all those devices, it will automatically configure and calibrate to make the setup go very quickly. And so these kits include everything you need in a box. It's the cables, the mounts, the network switch, all the devices. So it's easier for a partner to spec to solve a challenge for a customer, or if you're a customer, it's easy to standardize across all your offices. Um, And then, even for some of the more customizable space, we offer just what's called the foundation system, which is just the Zoom room, Shure compute and touch panel with the DSP built in. That's kind of the brains of the system. But that flexibility means you can use that with any range of Zoom certified AV devices or endpoints, and that makes it really easy to upgrade an existing collaboration system you've got installed, or customize, a room design to really tailor it to the application you have. But you can still benefit from the standard of having the same, platform and performance, with the Share Compute, and then manage that with Share Cloud. That's one of the ways we kind of tie that connectiveness between the hardware, software, and cloud management to help customers with standards.
Yeah, and these solutions are no longer, straight AV solutions. They're IT. Uh, IT really needs to have visibility into uh, the equipment, the devices that are on the network, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, that cloud management piece. I often think about like the solution in a few different phases, not just for the participants in the room, although they are very important, but also, yeah, for the partner that we're going to work with to deploy the system, and then, yeah, maybe the IT person who is going to be living with the system for many years. And what, for each of those, what is the experience like, and what can we do as a partner to understand what the workflows are, understand where some of the pain points are with some of the existing solutions out there, and then help overcome them and make their lives easier.
Nice.
So we can do that in a few different ways. Sometimes it's through, a more complete solution and ecosystem like that. Sometimes it's through flexibility, and we're committed to both. That kind of, open architecture that allows third party partnerships and interoperability, at the same time as, presenting complete, easier solutions where it makes sense.
Right. So, recap. So you've got two new products. Recap the name of the products and what they are, and I'm assuming that folks certainly will be able to see them at InfoComm. And when will they be available?
That's right. That's right. So we've got the MXA 925, which is our latest ceiling microphone array with onboard intelligence and DSP built right in. We'll be announcing that in InfoComm. It'll be available starting June 1st, and you can come by the Shure booth to give it a listen and see how it performs in action. And then the IntelliMix room kits with for Zoom rooms, those will also be on display in a few different environments, corporate environments, education environments. We want to create some fun scenarios for customers to enjoy those solutions in at the show. Those will be available starting July 1st, so right around the corner for both of these. We'd love to come see us at InfoComm. We'd love to meet you and work with you on your scenario and your help to improve your AV and IT solutions in your space. But otherwise, feel free to reach out to us through Shure.com, our website, to research some of these solutions or start a conversation.
Great. Well, I'll certainly be at InfoComm. I can't wait to see the new solutions and see you in person. So thanks so much.
Very good. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks all
Alrighty.
for watching.
Take it easy.